Okay then, so a few little things to go over before we start the video. Make sure you're making notes like last time, guys. Listen again to the video. If you watch it all through and feel like there's some bits you didn't quite understand, make sure you watch it again. Be prepared to pause, because the work you're going to be doing, I'll give you an activity, you'll pause the video, and then we'll go over the answers, okay? Really important. And make sure you focus and avoid those distractions. Put your phone in a different room until you finish the video and the work, okay? So what we're going to be looking at is the perimeter of sectors, okay? So again, we need to know those keywords, radius, diameter, circumference, arc, perimeter, sector, length, all the parts of a circle. Really important that you know those for this topic, okay? So here's an example, guys. So this is a semicircle, and if you're asked to work out the perimeter of this semicircle, the first thing you need to do is work out the length of the arc. Now the arc is any curved section of the circumference, so of the outside of the shape. So on this semicircle, it's the curved part, okay? So to work out the length of the arc, you do your circumference formula. So circumference equals pi times the diameter. The diameter in this case is 8, but because it's a semicircle, you need to divide your answer by 2 to work out that arc length, okay? So pi times 8 divided by 2 gets you an arc length of 12.56. Now, if you were then asked to work out the perimeter of this semicircle, you've just worked out the arc length, which is the curved section, and then you need to add on the diameter, okay? That straight line needs adding on as well, because that forms part of the perimeter, okay? So in this case, the arc length was 12.56. You'd add on the diameter, which is 8, to get a full perimeter of 20.56. Okay, so just to recap, you calculate the perimeter by first finding the arc length using circumference equals pi times diameter, and then you add the diameter on to get the full perimeter. Okay? So here's an example, guys, I'd now like you to have a go at. You're first going to work out the length of the arc, and then you're going to work out the full perimeter. So pause the video, and on a piece of paper, using a pen, I'd like you to work out the arc length and the perimeter. Pause now. Okay, so to work out that arc length, guys, don't forget you needed to use pi times diameter divided by 2. The diameter would have been 18, not 9, okay? 9 is the radius, so you needed to times that by 2 to get 18. So the arc length was 28.26, and then to work out the full perimeter, you had to add on the diameter. Now don't forget the diameter would have been 18, not 9. So it was 28.26, add the 18, which got you a perimeter of 46.26. Okay, if you got those, really well done. If you didn't, make sure you put the right answers down and use this for revision purposes. Okay, so this is a quarter circle. So let's look at how we would work out, first of all, the arc length, and then how we'd work out the full perimeter. So if it's a quarter circle, we're not going to divide the circumference by 2 this time. That's what you do if it's a semicircle. A quarter circle you would divide by 4. So start by working out the arc length, which is pi times diameter, and the diameter in this case would be 6. Don't forget that 3 there is the radius. If that was a full circle, that 3 is not the diameter, that's just the radius. So the diameter would be double that, which is 6. So it's pi times 6, divide your answer by 4, okay? So that gets you an arc length of 4.71. Then you have to add on the 2 straight edges, so the 3 and the 3 to work out the full perimeter. So your final sum is 4.71, add 3 to get you a perimeter of 10.71. Okay, well done for that example. Make sure you've taken notes if you feel that you will need them for revision purposes. So here's 4 questions using those examples that we've just gone through that I'd now like you to answer. So you're going to pause the video and have a go at these, and we'll go over the answers shortly. So pause now. Okay, so you had 3 semicircles here. Okay, so question 1, you should have got 10.3 centimetres for the overall perimeter. Question 2, 20.6 centimetres. Question 3, 3.9 metres. And question 4, 14.3 centimetres. So make sure you mark the ones you've done, and if you didn't get any right, you just need to work backwards with the right answer here and see if you can spot where you made your mistake. Okay? Now, For those of you that are feeling really confident with this topic, I'd like you to have a go at these 2 exam questions, very problem solving, okay? So you're going to pause the video now and have a go at them. If you were struggling with the ones before, you don't need to have a go at these yet, okay? You might want to just go back a step and look at the previous examples and have another go at those, okay? So those that are feeling confident, pause now and have a go at these exam style problem solving questions on this topic. Okay, let's look at the first one in some detail. So technically this shape is made up of a semicircle and a square. Now it looks like a rectangle, but we know it's a square because both of those sides are 4, okay? So let's start with working out the arc length, which is looking at that semicircle part to start with, okay? So we know to work out the arc length of a semicircle, it's pi times the diameter. Now the diameter would be 4, and it's a semicircle, so you divide your answer by 2. So it's pi times 4 divided by 2, and that gets you that arc length, that curved section of 6.28 centimetres. Now, the square, we're only needing 3 of those sides for the perimeter, because that 4th side, okay, is not part of the perimeter. Remember, perimeter is around the outside of a shape, so that 3rd length is not going to be included. So, those 3 sides, 4 add 4 add 4, give us 12 centimetres. So then to work out the final perimeter of the whole shape, you're going to do 6.28, add the 12, which gets you a final perimeter of 18.28 centimetres. Okay, so the next one then, let's have a look at that in some more detail. So what we've got here is a square again, which we know because the 2 sides are the same. And we've got a semicircle which is cut into that shape. So if we look at working out the arc length first of the semicircle, okay, pi times diameter, the diameter is 8, divided by 2, gets us that arc length, that curved section of 12.57, okay? Then if we look at the square, again it's only 3 sides because the 4th side is not included within the perimeter. So 8 add 8 add 8 gives us 24. And then to work out the full perimeter of the final shape, it's the arc length, which was 12.57, add the 24, which is a perimeter of 36.57 centimetres. So if you got those right, really, really well done. And if you didn't, please make notes now on where you went wrong, and maybe see if you can have another go at it later, knowing what the right answer is so you can check your answer. Okay, well done on that though. Okay, so again, this is grade 5, guys, so we're going upper level here, and to be honest, it is creeping into that grade 6 section as well. So if you've struggled with the work before, you just need to look at these examples and have a go at the questions, but don't worry too much if you're still struggling, okay? You can always use Seneca and GCSE Bite Size just to top up your knowledge on this topic if you're still struggling after, or watch this video again. So if you were asked to work out the perimeter of this sector, okay, it's not a semicircle, it's not a quarter circle. All we know is that we've got a 60-degree angle of a circle, and circles are out of 360 degrees. So you do your pi times diameter, but you have to do that calculation first, the 60 divided by 360. So in this case, you do 60 divided by 360 times by pi times by the diameter. Now, we need to know what the diameter is. That 12 is only the radius. Imagine it was a full circle, that would just be the radius. So you need to times that by 2, so your diameter is 24. So the calculation you do is 60 divided by 360, because we've only got 60 degrees of a 360 degree angle, times by pi times by 24, and that gets you an arc length, so the curved section of that sector is 12.57. Now, don't forget, that's only the curved section. You need to add on the 2 straight sides to the arc length to get the full perimeter. So that would be 12.57, add 12, because there's 2 of those straight sides, and that gives you 36.57 as your overall perimeter once you've rounded it. Okay, so take notes on that example if you want to, or watch the example again to understand it a bit better. And if you understood that, we're now going to have a look at some questions for you to have a go at. There's 2 to do here, guys, so what I'd like you to do, pause the video, write your answers on some paper showing all you're working out, and then we're going to go over some answers, okay? I'll pause now. So let's look at the first one in a bit more detail. So we've got to work out the arc length first, which is the curved section. So we've got 14 degrees out of 360. 360 is a full circle. times by pi times by 16, because the diameter in this would be double 8, which is 16. That gets us an arc length of 1.95 centimetres. Don't forget to then add on the 2 straight sides to work out your full perimeter. So it's 1.95, add 8, which is 17.95. So the overall perimeter is 17.95. The second one then, guys, so again, to work out the arc length, you've got 150 degrees out of a possible 360. So it's 150 divided by 360 times by pi times by the diameter, which would be 38 because it's double 19. So your arc length is 49.7. Don't forget to add on the 2 straight sides. So it's 49.7, add 19, which is 87.7. So your overall perimeter, guys, is 87.7. Really, really well done if you got those 2 example questions right, okay? Now, if you've struggled, you can watch the video again, but if you managed to get all that, that's fantastic. Watch the video again if you want to do some extra examples, that's absolutely fine. But well done, guys, really good effort.